Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's head outside, take a look outside our weather window on this Monday, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley. A little bit of shaking with our camera today. We did have some breezy conditions at times this afternoon, downright windy in some locations, but boy, all in all, it got a little warmer than we thought today, and not a bad last day of October. Happy Halloween, everyone. And we've got our first hard freeze of the year coming our way overnight Wednesday and into Thursday morning. We're talking temperatures maybe in the teens and 20s. I don't think we will get that cold in Wenatchee. Some locations will, so be careful out there. You could see some damage to sensitive irrigation equipment, and of course, if you have any garden vegetation out, take care of that. We'll talk more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A two-car accident early Sunday morning on Snoqualmie Pass resulted in the death of one driver and homicide charges for a Wenatchee man. A 20-year-old Moses Lake man was killed and a 17-year-old male was injured in a shooting early Sunday morning at a Moses Lake trailer park. And a Manson woman was hospitalized Saturday afternoon after two pickups collided near Chelan. But first, our top story tonight. A woman in her 70s was killed in a fire yesterday morning at her Moses Lake residence in the Harvest Manor mobile home park. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said another woman was able to escape the fire and is in the care of her family. Grant County Fire District 5 responded to the fire in the 4800 block of Airway Drive Northeast. That was about 8 a.m. to find the manufactured home fully engulfed. The Sheriff's Office said firefighters tried to save the woman, but the fire had progressed too far. The Grant County Fire Marshal's office is investigating the cause of that fire. Well, a two-car accident early yesterday morning on Snoqualmie Pass resulted in the death of one driver and homicide charges for a Wenatchee man. According to the Washington State Patrol, at about 2:40 yesterday morning, a 2021 Subaru Outback being driven by 37-year-old Casey M. Jordan of Wenatchee was traveling eastbound 2 miles east of the summit when he lost control and rolled over. His Subaru was then struck by an eastbound Chevrolet box truck being driven by 55-year-old Manuel H. DeCruz of Stanwood. DeCruz was not wearing a seatbelt and was declared dead at the scene. Jordan was not injured, but he was booked into the Kittitas County Jail on charges of vehicular homicide and DUI. Eastbound I-90 was closed for over 6 hours after that collision. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old Moses Lake man was killed and a 17-year-old male was injured in a shooting early yesterday morning at a Moses Lake trailer park. Moses Lake police said they responded to a home in the 300 block of Road H Northeast just before 6 a.m. to find an unidentified man who'd been shot several times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The teen, who was also been shot, had already been taken to Samaritan Hospital in a private vehicle where he was treated and released. Police are releasing a few details on the shooting and have not yet said if they've identified or arrested any suspects. A Manson woman was hospitalized Saturday afternoon after two pickups collided near Chelan. The Washington State Patrol reports that just before 1 p.m., a 2014 GMC Sierra was northbound on State Route 97 when it was struck by a 2005 Dodge Ram at the intersection of State Route 97 and State Route 97A. The driver of the GMC, 74-year-old Donna J. Burgess of Manson, was taken to Central Washington Hospital with undisclosed injuries. The driver of the Ram, 36-year-old Scott E. Tomlinson of Buckley, was not injured but was cited for failing to yield to the right-of-way. Well, when we come back, a report of a family fight Sunday afternoon at a Quincy area home resulted in the arrest of a Quincy man who was captured and injured by K-9 Edo of the Grant County Sheriff's Office. In a contested race for Douglas County PUD Commissioner, Rock Island Mayor Randy Agnew is challenging incumbent Aaron Vebrock. And today is the final day of the COVID-19 state of emergency in Washington, 32 months after Governor Jay Inslee declared it by executive order. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Fellow Chelan County residents, this is Sean Smith. As a local business owner, I understand the increasing challenges of survival. And as a father of 4, I understand the need for a safe environment for our families. As a lifetime resident, I am seeing changes that are not productive or safe. As your next county commissioner, I will work diligently to make sure things get better. County commissioners face a lot more than just community development, and you must be prepared to work on all levels of county government. I am ready, willing, and capable, and would ask for your vote.
I'm Dr. Kim Schreier, and I approve this message.
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says the massacre at Sandy Hook was staged. She claims there's no evidence terrorists hit the Pentagon on 9/11. She's even called for members of Congress to be executed. And this is Matt Larkin. He says he, quote, aligns with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's why Matt Larkin is dangerous, because the last thing we need is another Marjorie Taylor Greene in Congress.
Welcome back. In another news, a report of a family fight yesterday afternoon at a Quincy area home resulted in the arrest of a Quincy man who was captured and injured by K-9 Ito of the Grant County Sheriff's Office. 21-year-old Caden Stevens faces charges for violating a protective order in addition to being wanted on several outstanding warrants. The Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a home in the 7800 block of Road R Northwest about 2:20 p.m., but Stevens had already fled. Ito and his handler, Deputy Tyson, reportedly found Stevens hiding in a pump house behind the home, and when he failed to surrender, Ito went in. After being treated for his wounds from the encounter, Stevens was lodged into the Grant County Jail on charges of violating a protective order and prior warrants for third-degree malicious assault, fourth-degree assault, domestic violence, felony harassment, and taking a motor vehicle without the owner's permission. Well, in a contested race for Douglas County PUD Commissioner, Rock Island Mayor Randy Agnew is challenging incumbent Aaron Vebrock. I spoke with both candidates about the challenges PUDs face in serving high-load customers like data centers. You can watch the full interviews later this week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
What prompted you to run for the PUD commission post?
Well, one of the things I've found is you do have a voice when you're on a council or on a board, and sometimes one voice of reason can make a difference. And the PUD a couple of years ago set new rate schedules for high-load users, and also policies that they would not provide any of their locally produced power to a high-load user. And I'm all for high-tech businesses coming here, being a computer programmer, that kind of makes sense. Good jobs, good wages, and a lot of tax revenue. So that is what prompted me to run. Quincy versus Wenatchee, or East Wenatchee. If anybody has gone up to Quincy lately, they've seen the tremendous economic boom they're having. And Quincy, their general fund, they have 3 times the budget as East Wenatchee, and they only have a little over half the number of people. And that's all due to the data centers up there.
So you think that the Douglas County PUD is really missing the boat on this?
I do.
Yeah.
I honestly do.
I actually do enjoy fighting for the residential and small business owners in Olympia and Washington, D.C. And as far as you know, the challenges that we have with legislature and large loads coming online. The PUD is serving these large loads. In fact, we have so many requests for what we call Schedule 4 power. So anything over 2 megawatts now does not get power from Wells Dam. They get off the outside market, and Douglas PUD serves those by delivering. It's a power delivery rate, and so we have not said no to anybody. And like I said, we have so much demand that the problem now is that the transmission lines are getting filled up, and it's really hard to build new transmission lines. In fact, the PUD has been working on a line with Chelan PUD, Grant PUD in Bonneville, just to go from Palisades to Rock Island. And after 12 years, we're just starting to build that.
Wow.
So there's a lot of infrastructure needs if we're going to keep supporting these large load customers.
Today is the final day of the COVID-19 state of emergency in Washington, 32 months after Governor Jay Inslee declared it by executive order. Various emergency orders followed to limit public gatherings and require facial masking during the worst months of the pandemic. Inslee's office believes those measures help Washington achieve the 5th lowest death rate from coronavirus in the U.S. Although the emergency is ending, most state workers are still required to be vaccinated for COVID. Facial masking will still be required in healthcare settings under a separate order from the State Department of Health. More than 14,000 Washingtonians have died from the disease. The state of emergency ends at midnight. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, the city of Wenatchee has temporarily changed its zoning laws to allow sheltered parking for homeless persons and their vehicles. The city cites its first safe park location in South Wenatchee, operated by Wenatchee Rescue Mission, as a success. A second location, managed by the same operator, is due to open soon on Omi Garden Road. The decision to alter zoning for 12 months passed the City Council unanimously on Thursday.
While the City of Wenatchee Code has a use category for homeless shelters, it does not address the immediate need for temporary housing, and it's not tailored to the specific siting characteristics and needs for two new categories of low-barrier shelters. And these two categories are Safe Park facility, which was talked about this evening. And then the second component is previously discussed by the council for individual low-barrier shelter units. These would be made by the Pallet Shelter Company. The city can develop a 1,000-foot no sleep, no lie provision to look at preventing nuisances around the facility. Although the facility is highly managed and monitored as far as who comes in and who comes out. There will be, if adopted tonight, a neighborhood meeting on November 15th to get input from the public, to hear their concerns, share information, and then if they have questions over time, they know who to contact.
So we did find a location near the roundabout on the way sort of by the Stemilt area. We have a lease agreement that's in process, but we have a handshake agreement with the owners. We're going to lease about half of the property for $3,000 a month, probably for, I don't think it's going to be more than 90 days. They've asked us to purchase the property. So we talked about doing a boundary line adjustment, only buying half of it. The owner said, no, we'd like you to buy all of it. And then would you lease back the half that they want to keep for 18 to 24 months while they figure out what to do long-term with the trucking company.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great weekend. Really no complaints weather-wise. Beautiful yesterday at 61 degrees and another beautiful one today looking north from our camera, Sky-Fi Tower camera, up on the Cascadian. And a nice day today. In fact, it got warmer than we thought today, 61, and that's 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of year at 71, record 74, and that was set in 1967. We started off on the mild side. It kind of contributed to our warm afternoon, 48 this morning. 35 is our normal low temperature, 15 our record cold, and that was set in 2002. Sunrise 7:43 this morning, and it sets tonight, not long from now at 5:45. Taking a look at what we can expect as we get you into Tuesday, temperatures will cool off as we make our way into midweek. In fact, check this out. We're not going to get out of the 40s tomorrow. 49 for Moses Lake, Ephrata, Quincy, about 48 in the Wenatchee area tomorrow, 46 in Leavenworth, and 48 as well tomorrow in Chelan. So we'll actually be back to normal and actually a little bit below normal for temperatures tomorrow. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Low temperatures mainly around 40 degrees. Here's our storm that's moving through. Still some residual precipitation around Washington, but for the most part dry overnight. Boy, lots of clouds for Tuesday. Low pressure controlling our weather now, and a big northerly push of air, and that's why we'll see those cooler temperatures tomorrow. Highs only in the upper 40s. Not much change for Wednesday either. Maybe a little bit more sunshine. Even cooler for Wednesday with highs only in the mid 40s. That's right, highs in the mid 40s on Wednesday. Getting into Thursday, kind of our in-between day. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies, and here's our next big weather maker. That will deliver some rain and maybe even rain mixed with snow for us late Thursday night. Highs in the mid to upper 40s once again. For football Friday, it's not going to be very nice. Cloudy and breezy. Rain is likely. In fact, that yellowish color, that is heavy precipitation. That could turn over to a rain-snow mix overnight on Friday. Remember, lots of wind too, and we're going to see that once again on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies, a 50% chance for a rain-snow mix here in the Wenatchee area. High temperatures into the low 50s, and getting you into the end of our forecast on Sunday, cloudy skies. We are going to have low pressure right over the Spokane area, and that's just going to drive rain throughout the day, maybe even mixed with snow. And look at the blue. That is cold air moving down, and we will see that Sunday with high temperatures only in the mid 40s. Tonight, 39 degrees, 48 tomorrow, 31 our low. And here's that big freeze we're talking about heading into Thursday morning. Afternoon rain then on Thursday at 47. Rain likely as we get you into Friday and 54. Showers as well on both Saturday and Sunday, and cooler, 52 Saturday and 46 your high on Sunday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
As nature does its magical change from the green of summer to the orange and red of fall, camping in your old tent isn't going to cut it anymore. It's time for you to get a great deal on a motorhome, travel trailer, or fifth wheel from Click It RV during our year-end clearance event. We need to make room for our 2023 models. Get 30% off, 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and receive a lifetime warranty. Come visit us today off I-90 in Moses Lake and see big savings at Click It RV.
Hi folks, I'd like to speak directly to Chelan County voters. You have an extremely important decision to make in the upcoming election. Who is going to be your next Chelan County Commissioner? I'm endorsing Ann Hesberg for the job. I urge you to vote for her. I've known Ann for close to 20 years. She has the relevant work experience, coupled with the intellect, integrity, communication skills, and most importantly, the commitment to serve all of us equally and effectively without regard to party affiliation.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Ann Hesberg.
Hello, my name is Alan Blackman, and I am running for Chelan County District Court Judge. It has been my honor to serve you as a prosecutor and public servant. I have worked hard to keep our community safe. I have the knowledge and courage, but also the compassion and integrity to address mental health and substance abuse in our local courts. Please vote for the most experienced. Vote for balance, compassion, and integrity. Vote Blackman for Judge.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. The Seahawks celebrated Halloween a day early at Lumen Field yesterday, tricking the Giants and treating the 12s to a 27-13 victory. Seattle's defense held New York's potent offense to just one touchdown on a short field. Saquon Barkley had 53 yards rushing. Daniel Jones only 176 yards passing. He was sacked 5 times. Oh, the kind of game that Pete Carroll loves.
Boy, that was a really satisfying win. And this is one of those games when you get so much respect for the other team and what they've been playing like and accomplishing the players and the way that Brian has done such a great job with these guys and going that, we held this matchup in high regard. And to play that well across the board, all 3 phases were on it. Our effort was terrific. Our hitting was great. The defense was great today. They played great football. This is the team that was rushing for 170-something, and with an incredible back, and he doesn't get going today, and they don't get going today, and it was an all-day job. It wasn't like in flashes. It was all day long. We played consistently hard and tough and solid and disciplined and strict, and just like we needed to. And I thought Clint and his guys did a great job today. I mean, the game plan was excellent.
Geno Smith threw for 2 touchdown passes, one to DK Metcalf, the other a go-ahead strike to Tyler Lockett in the fourth quarter. Lockett, by the way, had dropped a touchdown pass earlier in the second half, and he felt horrible about it.
When I dropped the pass, it was kind of one of those things where, I couldn't believe I had just did that. So it was kind of frustrating, but I just had to breathe a little bit. I had a lot of teammates behind me talking to me. Like you said, Pete was able to come talk to me, and I just had to breathe, man. That was the biggest thing. And luckily, I had an opportunity just to be able to go out there and to be able to overcome it just with another play. Sometimes that might not even happen, and you got to be able to carry that to the next week and try to overcome it. But, just thank God I got the opportunity to overcome it with the next play. Geno threw a great pass, and I was able to catch it and secure it and score.
Tyler he's the best receiver I've ever been around. I've never seen anybody do all of the things so consistently for such a long time. Of course he's going to make a double move and score a touchdown. Of course he's going to come back. It was just a matter. I told him I think you're going to get 2 before it happened. I just had a feeling he was going to do something, and sure enough, he runs just a great double move and gets in the end zone just to let you know who he is again.
Seattle improved to 5-3 with a win and will play at Arizona this Sunday at 1:05. That on Fox. The Cardinals, by the way, come into Sunday's game at 3-5 after a 34-26 loss to Minnesota. Kyler Murray threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, also intercepted twice in the loss. San Francisco's trade for Christian McCaffrey looks pretty good right now. Running back had a rushing, receiving, and passing touchdown in the Niners' 31-14 rout of the Rams. Well, going back to college football on Saturday, Eastern Washington's fourth quarter comeback fell short to Portland State, losing 38-35. Eagles now 1-4 in the Big Sky. J.J. Lemming connected with Marcus Cook on a 12-yard touchdown pass with 29 seconds left and lifted Central Washington over Texas A&M Kingsville 23-19. Well, we'll stick with the gridiron, shall we, and go back to high school football on Friday night. What a game. Eastmont won its share of the Big Nine title after an incredible 36-35 win. Luke Gale with the Hail Mary as time expires, tipped, goes into the arms of Adrian Ruffins. He takes it in from the 5-yard line for the touchdown. Eastmont wins. Watch this again. Gale steps up in the pocket, wings it downfield. It's tipped at the 5-yard line by a defender right to Adrian Ruffins. Let's look at it from the end zone view and appearance audio as well. You can understand the excitement of Gary Travato there. He's a dad of one of the players in the end zone with the big catch. Eastmont will now host Richland in a crossover game on Friday night at Wildcat Stadium at 7 o'clock. We'll have that live here on the NCW Live channel. Grant and I will have your pregame starting at 6:30. Well, Wenatchee put up a good fight with West Valley Friday, but the visitors came away with a 28-9 victory. Sunnyside tied Eastmont for the league title. They beat Davis 28-8 because of the Grizzlies' win over the Wildcats earlier in the season. Sunnyside gets the number 1 seed. Eastmont will have the number 2 seed. Cheney edged East Eisenhower Friday 28-20. Well, here's the Big 9 crossover schedule. It begins on Thursday. As we mentioned, Wenatchee will play at University as Eisenhower travels to Walla Walla. Moses Lake will play at Gonzaga Prep Friday at 6, while West Valley visits Chiawana. Eastmont, as we mentioned, hosts Richland at 7 o'clock here on the NCW Live channel. Ferris plays at Davis. Sunnyside will host a game on Saturday. We just don't know whom they'll play yet. Caribou Trail League on Friday. Omak finished at 8-1 on the season with a 52-0 shutout of Clarence Fulton. Cashmere wrapped up and beat up Quincy 42-6. Chelan edged Cascade. Next up for the CTL crossover games Friday, Quincy visits Medical Lake. Chelan travels to Newport. Omak hosts Riverside. Colville plays at Cashmere. Cascade is at Deer Park. Okanagan showed it's the best team in Central Washington B-League football. 61-21 to win over Brewster. Bulldogs will be the number 1 seed headed to the playoffs. Tonasket will host Davenport Thursday at 6. Manson plays Northwest Christian at East Valley Friday at 6, while Brewster visits Jenkins Chewelah. Lake Roosevelt has a 7 o'clock kickoff at Liberty Spangle. Okanagan, meanwhile, will host Lynn Ritzville Sprague Friday night at 7 o'clock. Central Washington Athletic Conference wrapped up its regular season Friday as well. Othello, Ephrata, Prosser, Clarkston all posting victories. Playoff soccer on Saturday got underway for schools around north central Washington. Okanagan beat Liberty Bell 9-0, while Tonasket down Brewster 4-1. In the Apple Bowl, Cashmere won the District 6 1A championship with a 1-0 win over Cascade. Quincy took third with a 2-1 win over Chelan. Eastmont wrapped up its regular season with a 4-0 win against Davis. Speaking of which, those two teams will meet again tomorrow night for the Big 9 District play-in game at Wildcat Stadium. Join Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen here on the NCW Live channel for the play-by-play. It'll be on Facebook Live at 6, on TV at 7 o'clock. That is tomorrow night. Some volleyball scores from over the weekend found Brewster sweeping Lake Roosevelt in a makeup match on Friday. Chelan captured yet another District 6 1A crown Saturday at Wenatchee High School by downing Cashmere in 3 straight. Omak topped Cascade in a loser-out game. Cashmere rebounded for a 3-1 win over Omak to end the Pioneers season. Wenatchee Wild keep coming close, but not quite in the BCHL hockey. They were north of the border. Wild swept in a couple of games at Prince George over the weekend, falling on Friday by a score of 4-3, and then Saturday 2-1. Wenatchee returns home for a single game this Friday at 7 o'clock against the Merritt Centennials at the Town Toyota Center. Seattle Kraken picked up a big win over Pittsburgh Saturday at Climate Pledge Arena. Seattle got goals from Jordan Eberle, Morgan Geeky, and Jaden Schwartz in a 3-1 win. Next up is a game tomorrow night. They'll be on the road at Calgary. That starts at 6 o'clock on Root Sports Northwest. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. We're out of time. That'll do it for our newscast tonight. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us, and have a great night. News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.